This is my reflection number 2 for Dr. Lamb's class. So I will begin. My first question was, what was your task related to fractions? So we were given the task to develop a plan to present to a student in my field classroom, which is a kindergarten class, and assess them on some types of fractions. So I chose just identifying fractions as a whole, like shaded areas and that such, and also fractions in a real world scenario. So I know that there's many types of questions on the STAR test using a real world question, so I wanted to be able to assess my students and make sure that they know how to answer these questions. So my assessment plan was to just simply make a document that has a set of different random fractions. So squares, circles, different colors, different shapes. That way I can best assess what my students know. I wanted to also start off the assessment by my first question is, do you know fractions? I don't expect them to answer yes necessarily, because a lot of the times I feel like the students know the concepts, they just don't know the mathematical terms, so they instantly say, no, I don't know about this, but they truly do know some answers. My next question, that my plan was that I wanted to ask my question a real world scenario. I wanted to assess that first, that way if they don't know, in my plan I said I was going to ask two real world scenarios consistently, and if they got those wrong, then I would move on. That way I'm not asking these questions over and over again and wasting assessment time, and that way I can better assist what my student knows. Part of my plan was also choosing a child who was not in my low category or my high category. I wanted a medium, an average student. That way I can later better assess the whole class. That way I can either know to go higher or lower. And so that way I can, if I know what she knows, then I can kind of go from there. So during my plan, during this actual assessment, I first asked the student, Violet, what are fractions? And she goes, I don't know what fractions are. So we move on, and I asked a real world scenario question. And she was very confused. I just asked her, I just stated a sentence, and I said, point to the fraction that best represents this sentence. And she couldn't do it, and I explained to her that this isn't a test for a grade, and I just want her to see what she knows. So we then therefore moved on to just pointing to the shaded fractions. So she did really well on that. She knew a lot more than I thought she would have known. I said point to 1/2. She instantly pointed to 1/2. But I instantly began to notice that she was only pointing to the fractions that were in rectangles or squares, never in circles. I had a couple of questions that had two possible answers on the paper. So like for instance, one hole had a circle and a square, but she would only point to the square. So that tells me that she needs to be more. Shown that fractions in different shapes. That way, she's able to learn all of that. So the results that I found is that she doesn't really know how to put real world scenarios into math form, and so I thought a great way to kind of give examples of that every day in the classroom would be to do like a math warm up with that. So just put it on the board. For instance, if I have a pizza and it comes in 8 slices, and 3 of my friends take a slice of pizza, how many is left? So I can draw a picture and shade it, and that way I'm showing the students how to solve these problems every day, and that will eventually lead to better assistance when they are taking their STAR test, which I think is important. So I learned a lot with reading the chapter and how to how to actually make an assessment and how to go out with these results. And so I enjoyed this reflection. Thank you.